So one of the biggest mistakes that I see a lot of guys make is that they attach a negative emotion to a positive habit. For example, if you're the type of guy who has been telling yourself that you are going to start working out, if you're the type of guy who has told yourself that you're going to start eating healthy, that you're going to start taking care of yourself, and you're going to start living a different lifestyle, and no matter how many times you've tried it, and no matter how much success you might have in the beginning, sooner or later, you end up falling off track and you go back to your baseline of what feels comfortable, what feels familiar, and what feels normal to you, okay? If that is you, then one of the biggest reasons why you're not able to change that is because every time the thought or the topic of working out comes up or eating healthy, immediately your mind goes to a story. And because you've been playing this story over and over again, and because you've given a meaning to the story, that means that you've also attached an emotion to that story. So for example, if the time comes where you have to go work out, your mind goes to the story that working out is hard, I don't like it. Now that's going to send a signal to your body, which is going to cause discomfort, frustration, maybe some anxiety. And because that's been the pattern that you've been stuck in, you don't go train, or you're inconsistent. Maybe sometimes you'll white knuckle your way out of that and you'll go work out. But if 9 times out of 10, or more often than not, you're playing that same story, giving it the same meaning, and reinforcing it with the same habit or the same action, this is why you're not able to start your new lifestyle. This is why you're not able to stay consistent with the fitness lifestyle. And this is the problem that I see a lot of guys fall victim to. So how do we fix that? Well, instead of trying to white knuckle your way out of it with discipline and willpower, that's not going to work. You're going to get burned out. And again, you're not going to get very far. You might have some initial success, but eventually you're going to end up fucking it all up and you're going to go back to square one. So what we need to do is we need to take that same habit, the training, the nutrition, and we have to swap out the story. You have to swap out the story that you've been telling yourself, and you have to switch it with a new, more empowering story that actually serves you. Because if you're able to do that, then it's going to create a different emotion and a different response. So for example, instead of you saying, working out's too hard, I can't do it, I don't want to get sweaty, I don't have time, I'll start later. If you swap that story with, working out is going to give me energy, working out is going to give me the confidence that I want, working out is going to reinforce my identity as a man who honors his commitments, working out is going to prove to myself that I am worth it, that I do love myself, that I do respect myself. Once you change the story and you give it a different meaning, now pay attention to how your body feels. You're going to start to feel optimistic. You're going to start to feel joyful. You're going to start to feel excited. You're going to start to feel confident because you know that this is going to produce an emotion that you want to feel. Who doesn't want to feel those emotions, right? So if you can swap the story, you're going to change the meaning, and then you follow through with the action, you actually do it, over time, that's going to be the new association. Right? Over time, now your mind and body are going to synchronize. It's going to be like, oh, wait a minute. This used to be something negative. Now it's something positive. And if it's something positive, you're no longer going to fear it. You're no longer going to avoid it. And this is where the positive habits start to stick. And eventually this locks in your new identity. And so this is important to understand, guys, because again, if you're stuck in that start-stop cycle, if you're relying on this new year rush of motivation that comes and goes, then you're going to be very disappointed and depressed probably when this whole year goes by and you're stuck doing the same shit. You're stuck in the same level of personal development that you're at now. You're in the same out of shape body. you have the same low energy, you have the same low confidence, and there's no growth, or there's inconsistent growth. You take 2 steps forward and then you take 1 step back. So again, be mindful. If this is something that if you're stuck in that cycle of attaching a negative emotion to a positive habit, this is your opportunity to change that. You have to swap out the story, give it a new meaning, and then follow through with the habit, follow through with the action. And then over time, you're going to reinforce that as the new identity, as your new baseline. That's just now going to be part of what you do. And if you can do that, you no longer have to rely on discipline. It's just going to be part of your everyday, your everyday life, right? Like, do you have to think twice about brushing your teeth in the morning? I hope not. Do you have to think twice and negotiate with yourself when you take a shit and you have to wipe your ass? I hope not. So just like any other habit, it's going to take time. It's going to take consistency so that you reinforce it. But that is going to unlock a new level of growth. And this isn't just with the gym, guys. This isn't just with, eating right and working out. This can be with anything, any habit that is a positive habit. You have to attach a positive emotion, because if there's a negative emotion attached to that positive habit, you're fucked. You're going to keep repeating the same start-stop cycle, the same inconsistency, and you're going to feel like you're not moving the needle forward, because you're not. So again, keep that in mind. Right now is the perfect time to sit back and really reflect, write down what positive habits have you attached negative emotion to, so that you can start to swap out the story, give it a new meaning, and then start taking action, guys. Start reinventing yourself. Start doing something that your future self is going to thank you for. All right. Any questions, feedback? I would love to hear from you. Drop it below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.